cold, searching for secrets hidden in the fold. Under the vows where shadows creep, the truth awaits and mysteries deep. Voices call out from the shadows hold, stories untold where courage is gold. Exposing the lies that bind the free, expanding horizons for all to see. Voices call out from the shadows hold, stories untold where courage is gold. Exposing the lies that bind the free, expanding horizons for all to see. Truth seekers rise, lift your eyes. Break the chains darkness defies. Shine the light, uncover what's right, for all to see in the dead of night. Christians arise like sparks in the dark. Instrumental are we, leaving a mark. No more silence, the truth shall unseal. With every step, the wounds will heal. Courageous hearts in unity stand. With revelations, the world is planned. There's fall away like dust in the breeze. Truth sets us free, we'll never appease. Truth seekers rise, lift your eyes. Break the chains darkness defies. Shine the light, uncover what's right, for all to see in the dead of night. Truth seekers rise, lift your eyes. Break the chains darkness defies. Shine the light, uncover what's right, for all to see in the dead of night. In the dead of night. In the dead of night.
Well, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Mr. B here. How are you? Look, it's been a while since I've been in, and that was a hell of a start to a show. I started off with a bang, a big bang. That message is about let's not repeat history, and this is what it's all about. You know, I mean, we need a bit more love in this world and a bit less craziness, I reckon. Anyway, I want to bring on my guest, and I've got my good friend Gerald from Midwest Night Watchers here, and I'd like to introduce. G'day, Gerald. How are you, my
Hello.
friend?
Thanks for having me.
And hi, mate. It's always a pleasure. Hey, one of the geezer geeks, and we got Clay from Conspiracy Music. How you going, Clay?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing? Testing one. Can you hear me?
Yep,
Yes, I
sound
can
good.
hear you loud and clear. Hey, my audio's not too loud, is it?
No,
No.
you sound good.
No,
Sound
that's
good.
good. That's good. Because Robert usually tells me off a bit. Oh well, never mind. Yes, it's been a kind of a crazy few weeks. What's happening globally with all these drones and God knows what. But you know, there's I think personally, I mean, is there a conspiracy going? Because I mean, they say it's all drones, but it seems to be happening all over the place. It's like everything happening at once. You know, I mean,
Right.
you got Illinois happening drones. You got Miami drones. You got everywhere. There's drones happening, and also in Australia, I believe as well. So I've heard. I haven't seen anything, but I've heard about it. So, but it seems to be happening on a global sense, and it makes me wonder, um, where are we heading? I mean, Is this a distraction, or are they trying out new tech or something? I mean, who knows what the government's doing? But it seems to be strange. But I've got some videos here, which, well, it's the first one was caught on camera by a mother and daughter on an airplane, and I hope I've got the right one up. Yep, and I'll see. I like your opinion on this, guys. So I'll just run it.
I am going to make you a bet that the next time you get
This
a
is
window
from News
seat
Nation.
on a plane, you're going to think of this next story, and you're going to think of the guest who is going to talk about this next story. Michelle Reyes was flying over New York City with her daughter, and she was sitting by a window. When she did what a lot of us do, we, take pictures out the window, nice video of the New York skyline. It's an amazing view. But what Michelle did not expect to see was a cylinder-shaped object zipping across her line of sight near LaGuardia Airport. Was it a bug inside the plane, maybe? Well, she played the video back to look, and no, it was not a bug. Whatever it was definitely outside the plane, and it was flying on its own, and it was really, really fast. Michelle Reyes joins me now exclusively, and I want to welcome back Ben Hansen from UFO Witness on Discovery Plus as well. Michelle, thank you so much for being here. First of all, wow, that was pretty alarming stuff. What did you do with the video, and did you reach out to authorities to share it with them?
Thank you for having me. And when I realized that I had something like this on the video, the first thing I did was I emailed the FAA to let them know what I saw, and maybe it was a safety hazard. I reached out to them. Unfortunately, I haven't heard back from them. They didn't acknowledge my email. And then I sent it to Enigma Labs and the National UFO Database.
And any response?
Enigma Labs was the only one who responded to me.
So
That's
your
how I got in
dad
contact.
apparently. Oh, okay. So, and as I understand, your dad is a former Navy guy, so you were able to share with him as well. What did he say?
I showed it to him first, and he honestly had no idea what it was either. He had no idea. He was just as baffled as I was.
Did you guys settle on the fact that it maybe was a drone? It was going awfully fast to be a drone, but was that the best guess?
He thought it may be a drone, but he didn't think that it should be where it was, that close to the aircraft. So he really didn't have an answer for me. He was just as clueless as I was. He's seen a lot of things, and he couldn't give me an answer, but if he had to guess, he would have said drone.
Well, I don't
Wow.
think that was a drone.
Doesn't look like a
Personally, I
drone.
don't think. No.
No, a drone is a bit more bulky. That was awfully thin.
Yeah, and it was fast. They actually slowed
And-
it down for the news.
And even drones have they do have wings with the fans or propellers on them, and I didn't see any of that on that. This was like a cylindrical object.
I agree totally. It was metallic, that's for sure. It had a bit of a shine to it, but yes, it's. I mean, the crazy things. I mean, what's happening? See, things in the sky and things coming out of the ocean. It goes back millennia. I mean, even what Christopher Columbus talked about it in his ship's log, and talks about luminosities circling his boat, and of course, it after a few days it actually came out the ocean and circled the boat, and of course the crew was so superstitious, which seamen in those days were, bad omen sort of thing. They changed course, thought they'll head back home, let's head back to Europe sort of thing. But when they changed course, that's actually when they discovered America. Things happen by chance, as they say. But yeah, so it's not something that's kind of, for our century, it goes back I think it goes right back to the ancient Greeks. I mean, you've got Triton, and shooting lightning bolts out. It's all these Greek mythology, and it goes right through to ancient maritime strange things, and I mean, the thing is, people just can't understand, and of course, uh, back those days, all this stuff would have been like magic. It would have been like abracadabra stuff, which is something that could not comprehend or get their head around for sure. I mean, even now people talk about alien technologies. It's like friggin' magic to us, and we are in our minds are technically aware of what things are, and if we don't understand it, well, we try to pull it apart and try to work it out. That's how where we are. But some of this stuff to us, they still say it's like friggin' magic. It's like, how does it go? Because it goes against all understanding of physics that we know. So
Yeah, there's definitely some unexplained stuff out there. Now, there's stuff that everybody's, seeing now in New Jersey mainly. I think that's us. I think that's the U.S. military. Personally, I think it's something they're trying to do, the new Space Force or a new arm of the Space Force or something to that effect, because I don't see the American government just let foreign vehicles hover over military bases.
Unless it's a Chinese balloon, then it's okay.
Yeah, or a Russian satellite. That's fine.
Well, see, I mean, that's what I mean. They don't seem too concerned about it. They weren't concerned about the Chinese balloons. They don't seem too concerned about this. So I don't know what's going on.
Well, seeing that's happening on a global sense, I mean, there could be a military exercise on a global sense amongst the all ally countries, But apparently, but strange thing is, China's even been getting these things. But then again, it's a show of strength, a show of technology. Who's got the biggest stick in the block? Who knows? I don't know. But but here's another one for you guys to have a look at, and this one I find interesting. So I'll just add this to the stage.
Well, and that
Shot
last one did
this
not
video
look
last
like
night.
the ones in New Jersey that we're seeing today. That
No.
one that you just showed previously looked different.
Yeah, agreed.
Right.
Anyway,
In Davidsonville, just 25 miles from the nation's capital, as he pointed out. And then there's this.
I've never seen that before. Wow, you just passed each other. Yeah, I've never seen that before.
New Jersey Senator Andy Kim shared this video of drones he shot yesterday. Federal authorities insist most of these sightings are actually legally manned aircraft. But Senator Kim says he checked a flight tracker app while capturing this video and that the devices he was capturing were not on it. The sightings are happening near LaGuardia Airport, too. Officials say they received unconfirmed reports of drone activity over that busy airport. As for numbers, the FBI says it's received more than 3,000 tips from the public about drone sightings going back to November 18th, all over New Jersey. Since then, there's been an average of 92 sightings per night and expanding across half a dozen states. In a joint statement, the FBI and Department of Homeland Security said, quote, "We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or public safety threat, or that they have a foreign nexus." Lawmakers, however, aren't buying it and are pushing for answers and action. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and 2 other senators wrote a letter calling for a briefing with the FBI and Homeland Security. While in Connecticut, Senator Richard Blumenthal says the devices should be shot down if they can't be identified. And we've learned that House Speaker Mike Johnson did get a federal briefing on the sightings, as have Senate staffers in a few select offices. But other than that, there's been very little transparency. So what's going on? Is this some contagious mass hysteria? Or are people really seeing something that our government cannot identify? Our own Rich McHugh went out drone hunting in New Jersey. He did not come back empty-handed. Rich, tell us what you saw.
Hi, Elizabeth. Well, I got to be honest here. When this story first came out a few weeks ago, as a resident of New Jersey, as a journalist, I didn't pay it much credence. I thought it would turn out to be a bunch of pranksters and this would all be over by now. The experience I had last night, however, changed the way I feel about this story completely. What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined. Take a look.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 lights, 6 lights.
I didn't believe what I was
That looks like a
seeing. But
kinda like a
what was
plane
I
to me.
seeing? We're
That
here
looks
in
like a
Central
plane.
Jersey. We've been looking
Yeah.
for the
It's
past
definitely
hour.
got the
I think we've seen
FAA
about
lights
40
on
or
it, hasn't
50
it?
of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there. One after another, these drones
Now that looks
appeared
like
in the
a
night
drone.
sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft, about 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely not an airplane, but what was it?
That's what gives it
Hours
away.
earlier, I was invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff Department. They launched their own drones to see if they could intercept the mysterious aircraft New Jersey residents have been reporting in
Military
recent
checking
weeks.
out the new tech, I
The
reckon.
department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones.
Why do you think that is? We don't know. It's just something that we haven't, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
Something they hadn't experienced until now. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer.
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat and they reported seeing 13 following their boat. And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
I see one right here.
Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before.
Wow.
And more than a month since these reports started, the federal government doesn't know what they are either. What's your message to the White House?
My message: come to the Jersey Shore. I know it's wintertime, but come see what we see, and then, maybe have a better appreciation for why our residents are concerned.
Yeah, well, getting so close to the capital, I mean, I always believed that was restricted airspace anyhow. So what is it up there? Why is it up there? And why wasn't it shut down, as they say,
Right.
Well, they have the blinking, flashing lights. We use that on airplanes to warn other airplanes that, were coming. So, why would aliens, if it was aliens, why would they come and show up with blinking lights to warn us?
Exactly.
I
mean, I don't think they're aliens. I don't think they're aliens. I mean, definitely it's a new high-tech drone, I reckon. And it could be the military testing out the new hardware, so who knows?
Well, that's kind of what I think. I think it's new technology for us, obviously old technology for them. I think they have something better and beyond this, so they're letting us see this now for the first time, whatever this technology is, whether it's a drone or some other kind of apparatus. But I think there's a couple different ways you can look at this. Either they're testing them and doing maneuvers in case we are invaded, or maybe China or somebody sends something over. They're already planning ahead with their drones on how to patrol the U.S. and major cities.
Yeah.
Or something else from outside of our solar system has came in, whether the orbs or some kind of other flashing lights, and they're using those drones to try to track them while we're seeing the big drones or whatever they're using. And we're thinking, okay, this is what we're looking at, but maybe they're chasing something else.
Yeah. Something's up there. And they're trying to work out what it is. So even the police and the Federal Bureau could not identify what these drones were. It didn't show up like normal drones, heat signatures and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a weird one. It definitely is a weird one. But now we've got another one here. Now this one says it's the 6 unexplained UFOs. Oh, let's see how we go on this one here.
Of the most chilling UFO cases that remain unexplained, uncovering the truth behind the mysteries in our skies. Today's first incident takes us back to November 2015. The event was reportedly recorded by French tourists vacationing in Indonesia. The 2-minute video captures multiple sets of lights changing color, brightness, and position. While some have speculated that the lights could be skydivers using flares, this theory doesn't hold up due to the fact that the lights maintained their altitude for several minutes and even ascended at one point. The lights also don't seem to match the typical pattern of drone lights, which are usually small steady dots that flash in a predictable pattern. In contrast, the lights in the video were high in the sky and flashed with a strong, uneven rhythm. Although the video is longer than most UFO sightings shared online, it cuts off while two faint orange lights remain hovering in the sky. To this day, there are no concrete explanations for what was recorded in the skies over Indonesia that night. 5 years earlier, on May 15, 2010, a 30-second video surfaced online, capturing a few white orbs maneuvering erratically and making sharp turns in broad daylight. In the opening seconds, two white orbs rotate around a larger one before releasing smaller orbs. As they move, a crowd can be heard reacting with shock in the background. Shortly afterward, the orbs begin to fade one by one until by the end of the video they've all disappeared. Although it's clear that neither drones nor birds could perform such movements, some speculate that the footage might be fabricated due to the exaggerated camera shake throughout the entire video. Despite being available online since 2010, there are no analyses or documents proving that the footage was indeed fabricated.
You're muted. You're muted, Mr. B.
Can't hear you, Mr. B.
It's trust me, I turned off my microphone because I had a cough. Yes, it's looked like it was flapping its wings, and to me, I think it could be CGI. I mean, well done though. The way it projected out all these orbs and things, but again, who's to say? I wasn't there to see it live.
To me, it looked like it was like circling the center dot, like two of them were circling opposite directions in the center dot. And I recently seen a video where there was a video where that same thing was happening to the, was it MH370?
Yeah.
I have seen something like that similar myself back in 1979 when I went with my friends to the Gulf and Kappa and Terrier for a fishing trip and scuba diving, and on the way back we kind of on a camping one night, and there was this large giant all I can say, it was a kite shape, and all underneath it was illuminated, and it's like rippling with a heat wave type thing. You get on top, don't that ripple, you get on top of a road on a hot day. It had all that rippling effect underneath, but there were two orange orbs that was orbited, circling this kite thing. It's like they were guiding the celestial beings sort of thing. It was the most weirdest thing. My friend Derek actually took a photograph of it with his, I remember, Canon AE1 camera, because I know it's a Canon AE1 because I bought the bloody thing off it. But yeah, I wish I had the film he took, but that was mind-blowing. That's going back in 1979. Anyway, carry on there. Sorry, Clay.
No. You're good.
Yeah,
I think Clay,
yeah.
Clay, I think you were talking about the last Geezer Geeks where Robert showed the Malaysia airplane being surrounded by three orbs or whatever they were circling it. Then all of a sudden the plane disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's.
But see these videos, we need the original files and sent to somebody who can look at them and tell if there's been layers put on these, if something's been added or taken away, or if it's just one layer, then obviously it's a legitimate video.
Yeah, the pixelation usually tells. I mean, by the time they get to look at it closely, it's the pixelation of it varies from different layers. So yeah, you can actually see if it's CGI or not. Definitely, But I'll keep playing this anyhow.
The next sighting takes us back to May 2006, when a disc-shaped, metallic object was reportedly seen hovering over a military site in Baghdad, Iraq. According to sources, a U.S. soldier took this photo along Route Jackson in southern Baghdad. It's speculated that at the time he captured the image, he was unaware of the object hovering above. By the time the photo surfaced online in 2007, the soldier was AWOL and his whereabouts were unknown. High-quality photos of UFOs are rare, but in this case, the disc-shaped metallic object is clearly visible. A close inspection of the image shows no signs of manipulation. However, given that the soldier's whereabouts are still unknown, the mystery around this sighting remains unsolved. On October 16, 2024, around 8 p.m., a Reddit user known as Exoflexes was driving in southern Arizona when he noticed a strange triangular object in the sky. He mentioned that he had been actively looking out the window when suddenly the object seemed to materialize out of nowhere. The unidentified object remained perfectly still without moving or changing shape, and he didn't see it disappear. After a few minutes, he drove away, and the object faded from view, but he watched it closely the entire time, observing no movement. It's also worth noting that a similar sighting took place in September 2024 in Poland, thousands of miles away. These nearly identical formations appearing so far apart make us wonder if they really have military origin or if they come from outer space. We previously covered the case from Poland on another episode of this channel, so I'm leaving a card in the corner. Be sure to check that out. Despite the fact that both incidents went through extensive online discussion, the mystery of these lights remains unsolved. I work with drones, and I don't recognize this. This is what a Reddit user by the name of SeriousMove4423 had to say about his 10-second video capturing an UFO sighting that he shared online. In the video, recorded in Highland, Utah, on September 28, 2024, an extremely bright orb is visible on the horizon. It's unclear if the flashing effect is from the camera adjusting or if the object itself was indeed flashing. One thing is certain, drones don't typically emit such bright lights, especially given how distant the object appears on the horizon. Another theory suggested the light could have been from a plane. However, this was ruled out after checking a flight radar app. The only plane in the area had passed about 90 seconds before the sighting, and its altitude, direction, and position didn't match. Even though the footage is just a few seconds long, the Redditor noted that the unidentified object vanished out of thin air as soon as he stopped recording and that the porch lights around his neighborhood went crazy as the incident unfolded. However, the most intriguing aspect of this sighting is that many witnesses reported similar experiences in the comment section of the original video. One witness described seeing the same type of object near Phoenix in 2007. I saw something almost identical to this just south of Phoenix in 2007. We were flying in a 172 at night south of Sky Harbor and called into ATC asking if there was any traffic to our 1 o'clock. They said there was nothing. It looked exactly like this. We thought it was a star at first, but quickly realized it was not. Ended up disappearing after about 5 minutes of watching it. Another, in New Zealand, recalled a similar light in 2013, although that one flashed red as well. A report from Minneapolis stood out for describing 2 lights instead of 1. Despite countless reports of similar encounters, the origin of the light remains uncertain. Do you stick with the drone theory, or do you think that it could be something else? Let me know in the comments below. On October 13, 2024, unusual lights were spotted just outside Langley Air Force Base in Hampton, Virginia. Witnesses reported seeing an unidentified object that remained perfectly stationary in the sky for around 2 hours with lights constantly flashing. Based on the object's apparent distance from the person who recorded the video, it's speculated to be over 100 feet in length. Interestingly, there were also reports of the same phenomenon occurring the same night in Jefferson City.
That one is interesting. I mean, little bits and pieces there with the focus, you can actually see the actual craft just for a moment. And over Langley Air Force Base, well, could it be part of the secret space program? Who knows? I mean, but
Right.
obviously, if it's hanging around the airport, I'm pretty sure the United States Air Force would have looked into it. Definitely, you know.
Right.
So it's either one of their top secret crafts or I don't know, but I think it is actually, because how could something like that just hover over an Air Force base or near an Air Force base without any kind of response? It's negligence if it was a threat, put it this way. So
Yeah, like no jets are scrambling or anything, you know.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, I look. If I was the commandant of the base, mate, my backside would be going like that. Say, what the hell is that going on? I'll be looking into it, you know. So yeah, and I'll continue with this anyhow, guys.
Missouri, about 1,000 miles away from Hampton. So far, investigations suggest that the object may have simply been an LED kite. However, there is skepticism around this theory, as the object barely moved despite windy conditions and was reportedly seen in 2 separate states.
It's actually huge as well.
Additionally, a very similar sighting occurred in broad daylight in Philadelphia. We've already covered this case in a previous episode. Click on the video appearing on the screen to check it out. But now, if you made it this far into the video and liked what you saw, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to this channel. It's free and keeps you up to date with our...
I reckon that's fascinating, put it that way. It's, again, you know, what's happening? I mean, there's so much stuff up in the air these days, in the sky, and it's like everybody's kind of putting their head between the legs and saying, oh yeah, and Congress is kind of talking about all this stuff, but it's like we've got all this hype, but nothing's happening, you know. I mean,
Right.
Everybody's talking about this disclosure's going to happen tomorrow, and you know it's going to happen, but we get this new hype every time, but like as usual, nothing happens. It just fizzles out, and but everybody is doing documentaries. The industry is thriving because of it, you know, and you got now George Knapp and his little puppy dog. What's his name? Jeremy Corbell. now doing movies now for Netflix, and I think what's it called? Investigation Alien. Very good documentaries, though. I mean, I highly recommend anybody who wants to. They've got Netflix and I watch these documentaries. Actually, the Investigation Aliens is a really good series of documentaries by George Knapp, you know, and it covers the stories really well, especially with underwater UFOs and things like that, which that's my favourite topic, by the way, and which I will be doing one in the near future, because this goes back a long time. Now today, as I said, it's about orbs, it's about drones and everything, but a lot of this stuff's now coming out of the oceans, so they say, or going into the oceans. But that takes us down that rabbit hole saying, well, are there alien bases beneath the ocean? Now, I personally believe, are there alien civilizations beneath the ocean? And why I say this is that in today's technology, with all super tankers and ships and cruise ships and, you know, they've got all this high-tech GPS, satellite navigation, state-of-the-art technology, but they're all still drifting around on the trade wind routes, right? I mean, we're not working with sails anymore. Why aren't they taking shortcuts across the ocean? You know, I know it's safe to stick to the shoreline, you know, but these super tankers, mate, I mean, they can handle hurricanes, these things these days, you know. Now, we talk about things like all these mysterious areas within our oceans, like the Bermuda Triangle, the Devil's Triangle, and the Ring of Fire, and all these other places. And there's places up in the Baltic Sea and the Black Sea, and there's these areas where people say all this weird and wonderful things are happening. Ships disappear, and you know, and people see lights. I mean, aircraft fly across the Indian Ocean and they spot lights under the ocean, look like city lights. somebody says, "Oh, it's probably volcanic activity," and I remember a guy telling us, "No, there's nothing in that particular region where there is any volcanic." And then you got one in the Pacific where aeroplanes are spotting illuminations in the oceans. So I look at it this way: the human population's probably been walking on the planet about 2 million, 2.5 million years, 3 million, so right? Maybe a bit longer, maybe 20, who knows? But when you're talking about the Earth was formed 4.5 billion years ago, so they say that's only a speculation. It could be 5 or 6 billion when it comes down to it, right? But life evolved in the ocean well before land, before the landmass actually started. But once the landmass started and the continental shelf started forming, and of course we had these microbacteria and fungi started growing, and now we've got life as we know it today, and it evolved into many other species. But hello, couldn't there be nearly 1 billion years of evolution more advanced than us in the ocean? That's the thing I say, because our time frame here has been very short in the life of the planet, but the ocean's been there a lot longer than the land masses. Now, people say, "Oh yeah, we would have known before now," but the point is, look, we don't live with gorillas. We don't live in their habitat. You know, we bag them, tag them, put tracking devices on them, and we put them back. But when a more superior species do it to us, oh God, I've been violated. You know, I mean, it's all right for us to do it to subspecies, something, you know, less intelligent. Well, obviously, these higher beings have been around here a lot longer than we have. And I honestly believe it, because it goes back in history. You know, I mean, even when you hear about Atlantis, you know, talk about all the technologies they had, you know, and then back to the Greeks, with the tridents and shooting lasers, but trying to get down to like during the Second World War, all these food fighters came out of nowhere to have a look, see what's happening. Now, my understanding is you can have a whale in the northern hemisphere, you can have a whale in the southern hemisphere, and they can talk to each other in song. They hear each other. Now, if you're a sea-dwelling creature, right, and somebody's blowing the shit, excuse my expression, on land, the vibration and the rolling it's going through, surely somebody's going to pick it up in the ocean. Just like two tin cans on a string. You can talk with putting up, and it echo, it vibrates through, and you can actually hear it like a telephone, you know? But then we talk about alien greys. Now, has anybody ever had a good look at a bloody dolphin? They're greys. You've seen their eyes? They've got oval-shaped eyes, like walnuts, you know. And you look at an octopus, that doesn't look human at all, but if you see a large octopus, they've actually got those alien-shaped eyes. Now, could it be possible, where these greys are not necessarily from another place? They are from here. They're just a different species in their own habitat. Don't want to know us. I mean, they've got the same colour skin as the dolphin, the eyes, they've got things that actually, and with the big black eyes, it's also good for night vision too, because they can't handle the daylight. And why do most of these aliens are seeing at night, UFOs out at night? Because their eyes are too sensitive to the daylight. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, I'm only speculating, just an idea and an opinion. So I'll leave it back to you guys. What do you guys think about that?
Go ahead, Clay.
Yeah, I think it could be possible for sure. There's 80% of the world's oceans hasn't even been explored yet, so we don't know what's down there. We can only speculate that humans were the first intelligent beings to come out of the ocean. Doesn't mean that there wasn't already some there before, and still are. And because there are stories in history like Atlantis and Greek mythology. So it's
I remember
definitely possible.
I remember when I was going to school, I was actually taught that dolphins and certain mammals, in ocean-going mammals, actually return back to the sea. They actually walked on land and returned back to the sea. They've even got these lizards now. Was it in South America or some bloody place, Chile? Is it? Well, I'm not sure, but these iguanas, they're land creatures, but they actually live in the sea now. They're going back to the sea. I mean, I it's a name. I mean, it's a thought provoking. It's very thought provoking for sure because obviously, where's the best place to be? Hide right in plain sight. They don't need us. Hey, they'd be getting all their minerals, everything they want from the moon. That's why a lot of these videos you see now, a lot of craft floating around the moon from these sky watchers and that, they're picking up stuff all the time. I mean, their technology, I mean, who's to say they never actually lived on the surface of the planet, you know what I mean, on land. But they thought it wasn't worth the effort, you know. We're too barbaric, you know. We can't even live with ourselves. Why would they want? I mean, we won't go and live with, as I said, we wouldn't go and live in a habitat with gorillas. We get ripped apart, you know. And if you get somebody that's more advanced, that's survived thousands and maybe millions of years more advanced than us, who's to say? Because it can be a million years more advanced. I mean, out of about 4.5 billion to 5 billion years, I mean, that's a lot of time there, you know. I mean, our lifespan's not in a microsecond. So I think there's more to it, you know, than what meets the eye for sure. But it's an interesting topic. So I will be covering. I'll be doing my research more on that one. But yes, everybody's seeing something. That's for sure. I know I've seen a lot of things over my life. At 74. I mean, I've seen so many things. I mean, I can actually bring one up, a little video. I'll see if I can play it up. I took this video back in 2016. I was actually starting just before I started work, my early morning shift, when I actually find the video. Here we go. It only lasts for about 29 seconds. Now, in this video, if you look to the left, you'll see a large craft, and then you'll see like a little star object moving towards the right. Now, that little object came from the big object, but I'll show it now. Now, from that, I actually took a photograph, and this is, excuse us blocking you guys out, but this is exactly what I saw. I might have to kind of just take you off the screen for a sec just to show this photograph.
You're good.
Yep.
You're good.
Oops. So that was actually, I think it's about April 8th, 2016. And it is registered with MUFON, that one.
Huh. Now look, that photo you showed looked like an X-wing or some kind of bat wing.
Well, it stood there and it just hovered there, stayed there, no sound whatsoever. But that little one with the 3 plates, you could actually, I was actually stunned. I remember while I was looking at it, a young girl that worked in the restaurant where I was doing the work there came out and says, "Hi, she said, come here, does work?" Yeah, I said, "Yeah." She said, "What was that?" And I said, "Did you see it?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, my dear, that's a UFO." She says, "Really?" Now, the thing is about it, that all that was hovering over Stirling Naval Base, Australian Naval Base, Stirling Naval Base. Right? At that time, there was a US nuclear sub-in. Yeah, and I actually, I remember actually spoke to a couple of the guys, but they're in their whites and they've got the dolphins on their dolphin badges on there. And I said, "Hey, you guys see that? They said, "Pardon?" Yeah, and I said, "Yeah." It's strange that things like this happen because I've been a conspiracist for a long time, but these guys don't like you talking this shit.
So what if you caught what we're seeing now in New Jersey? What if it's our military that has that same type of vehicle that you caught on a picture? That's what's flying around now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, the strange thing about it all, when I saved it to an I downloaded it, emailed it to myself, and I saved it to an external hard drive, right? After contacting MUFON, one of their field investigators got in touch with me, blah blah blah. Anyway, cut story short, there was nothing reported in the sky that day from Perth Airport, from control, right? Nobody knew anything about it. But the strange thing about it is all of a sudden, everything that was on my computer and on my phone disappeared.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, that's convenient.
Yeah, it was convenient, wasn't it? Now, this is why I've always said to myself, it's like the US government used private contractors to do all their black project research and development, right? Why? Because when you give it into the hands of contractors, these contractors don't have to come under the ruling of what do you call it? Disclosure. They don't have to, what do you call, Freedom of Information Act. They don't come under. Only the government comes under the Freedom of Information. Private corporations do not come under the Freedom of Information Act. Now, who's to say people like MUFON, very big organization, gathering all this data. Now, if you look at it in a sense where the materials they actually show to the general public, MUFON, it's the stuff that's going viral. Right? Now, I know for a fact, even mine was never released, never talked about, it was put away in the file and hidden. Now, I mean, it doesn't bother me. I know what I saw. I'm not after Mickey Mouse badges or any money or anything like that. Mate, go. Doing this cost me more than anything, but I enjoyed doing it because I believe in it. You know what I mean, Jerry.
Right. Yep.
You know, I mean, we do it for the love of, not for the money. God, you're not going to get rich in this bloody game, that's for sure. And the thing is, I'm not out to make myself a name, but I know what I saw. And I don't give a toss what other people think. I know my truth. And I'm not going to fool myself to believe it's something else. I mean, what I saw was real. But what I get at is that when I see people like MUFON, I'm not saying all the people that work for MUFON are bad dudes, but I think that they're a purpose to collect information for the government. That's like any other contractor. Because what information they have and what they've got on files. They don't have to produce it under the Freedoms of Information Act.
Right.
So somebody's got it, right? Now, what gets to me is suddenly in 2017, Mr. Luis Elizondo, nice bloke, I believe he's a very nice gentleman. I have no problems with him, right? But remember, until he brought out all these videos of the Tic Tac UFO, remember, not one media outlet would touch UFOs. Not one media outlet would touch it, right? It was like Black Band. We don't talk about bullshit stuff like that. That's their attitude. And and all of a sudden, overnight, it's like the government says, yeah, we'll release this stuff. Now, all of a sudden, the New York Times started publishing all this stuff. Suddenly, overnight, a man that's never been heard before. I mean, I never knew who Luis Elizondo was until that Tic Tac came out. And all of a sudden, he's like an overnight internet sensation. What about people that have been doing podcasts for the last 15, 20 years, their own shows, struggling to make a living, trying to get followers and stuff like that? Mate, they're struggling. They're just another ant, as I call it, another ant doing their thing. But all of a sudden, these people come out of nowhere with all this so-called information, sensitive stuff, and they've all of a sudden they're the gurus. They're going to lead the way. And what people are forgetting is a person that works for the Pentagon is a career man, especially if he was the head of a department called ATIP. He was a career man. And people forget he's a counterintelligence specialist. My personal opinion is he's doing a job. He's a patriot. He's probably got a wonderful family. He loves his family. He's just doing his job. He gets ordered to do it. So he does it. They're putting us in a situation where maybe the truth seekers of this world are getting too close to the truth. So what we need now is a diversion. So somebody's got to come in and start changing the narrative and leading us into a totally different direction. Yes, they can turn around and say, oh, disclosure this, disclosure that. Yes, it's going to happen next year. It's going to happen whenever, but it never does happen. It's always complications. But nobody's asking the hard question. What actually happened at Roswell? I want to know one question at a time, and we can lead from there. What actually happened at Roswell? Let's get that out. True. Well, I don't want to know about the technologies you have, because I believe that is a security thing that should be secret. But yes, we've been doing back technology on alien stuff. Well, fine, good. Are we achieving anything? Yes, we're achieving a lot. I don't need to know what it is. And that's a fact, because you've got to hold the ace card in your hand. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What you've got to have the ace card. It's a security risk. It's to protect your own nation. All right? Right. Now, but they shouldn't have to hide the truth about aliens. Technologies, yes, I think that deserves to be quiet, and be kept secret. I don't need to know. But to say aliens exist and things like that, and did Roswell, see, they've got to ask the question, hard question. What happened at Roswell? Tell us the truth. But they're not doing it. They're talking about disclosure in an open way, saying, oh, we can't talk about this, we can't talk about it. They put it in this generalized basket, which they say, oh, we can't reveal this because it's all top secret. But we're not asking anything top secret. We're only asking a specific thing. What happened at Roswell? You can't turn around and say, oh, a crashed UFO happened today, and then suddenly within 24 hours, oh, it's a downed weather balloon. Hello. I mean, these people, how stupid are these officers? They know the difference between a weather balloon and a bloody satellite. Know what I mean? Hello, what's all happening here?
You got some balloons.
Yeah, I've got some balloons.
So what if it was all part of the plan to begin with? What if you say that Eisenhower's contract was real, and now the contract is up, and so the aliens are eventually going to come or show themselves? So what if Lou was an operative, and Okay, he gets the grassroots movement going. He gets the people believing him. Then he goes into the military. He releases the videos, saying so the government can have a little disclosure to see how the people react. And now we have drones coming in that people are saying are aliens, ETs, whatever. So maybe it's the government testing us to see how we react if we did have an open contact with aliens or spotting them right before their contract truly runs out and they have to tell us. Maybe they're trying to test us to see how we react.
Yeah, it could be. Definitely.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the major problems of people like, no offense to these religious Jehovah's Witnesses and all these religious organisations too. I believe in. I have faith, and I believe in. I respect other people's faiths, and that's. I mean, a man without faith is an empty soul, as far as I'm concerned. You got to have the social conscience in yourself. You know what I mean? But on the other hand, I mean, I remember some minister was going crazy one day talking about aliens are demons. God made us in His image, not aliens. And I thought to myself, oh, hello. I mean, who knows what God's image is? Alien shape, alien, I want to call it humanoid shape. Who knows? I don't know. It could be. Go back long enough. I mean, go back to the ancient Greece. If you were an Aphrodite, I mean, they were children of the gods. So God is a male and female in one. That's what they believed. God is a unisex person, and not just a gender. I mean, it sounds crazy, but history changes.
I think most major religions believe that God is an entity and not a whether male or female. So it could be whatever you think it's going to be.
Well, getting down to this, look, when man traveled the oceans and sailing ships and discovered new worlds, isn't it strange? He did not need religion to kind of tell us that there's a power far greater than ourselves, because all civilizations they met that never met a European or white man, even those little people isolated on tropical islands, they all believed in a power far greater than themselves. Even if it was spirit of the volcano, the river, the creek, the sky, the cloud, or whatever. Even the American Indians believed in it, right? And all of a sudden, man comes along and says, "Oh no, you've got to believe this and you've got to believe that, or you'll go to burn in hell." Why? Because now you know that what God's all about. So, well, why did you tell me? Now I've got to suffer because I don't believe what you want to believe. And this is what more people have died in the name of religion and belief, violently died in these wars over the centuries, which does it. It's to me, it's not the higher being, how I put it, way to think, to go. I mean, hey, I believe in love, peace, and let's all get on and share the world. I mean, the world's gone crazy. It's gone in too many different directions, like my brain is at the but I mean, we see starvation, hunger, disease, and famine. I mean, we see so much stuff happening in this world, but yet we still go and plow food into the ground, pour milk down the drain. Why? Because we've got too much surplus of it, and we've got the new spring season stuff coming in, and we've got to make room in our warehouses for the fresh stock. So they don't give it away to the poor. They burn the beef, they burn the lamb, they burn everything, and they bury everything back into the ground. But yet they say, "Oh, isn't it sad that people are starving?" I mean, this is why I say this. I know I've gone off track a little bit, but what I'm saying, it's the way of the world. It's the way of the world. I mean, we live. They are trying to make us live constantly in fear of the unknown. It's like with all these drones and with these UFOs, they're talking threats. Oh, they're a threat.
Well, what are they? What are they doing while everybody's looking over here at the drones? What's going on over here? What are they doing over here? That's what I'm worried about.
Yes. You see what the left hand is doing compared to while the right hand is doing its thing. That's right. Yeah, it's oh mate, it is crazy. Oh God, a lot of
Big Bird in the chat. Blazer hanging out with us too.
yeah, yep, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. It is crazy, guys. I mean, uh, that's true. You know, if people really looked at religion in a sense, I mean, it's about love, fellowship, help your fellow man. It's not about you don't believe what I believe. You're my enemy, and so I'm gonna hate you. You know, why can't they just respect each other? You know, you know, I don't care if a damn if a person's Islamic, you know, Muslim or Christian or whatever. I don't care. The old saying, they treat me nice, I'll treat them better. You know what I mean? It's about respect, you know, and you know, and the ignorance of if I'm a good man, I'm going to get 16 virgins. I mean, hello. I mean, how disrespectful is that to a lady?
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah, I bet your wife really loves that.
But again, I mean, and this is where the division comes because people believe this stuff. But hey, I mean, if somebody said to you, tomorrow when you wake up, you are not allowed to wear a cap. No, you've got to wear a veil over your head. Why? Because we don't want anybody to see your ugly bloody face. You know what I mean? Because that's how I see it. You know what I mean? They're demeaning people. I mean, see, it's a strange thing about years ago, even in the Catholic Church, when a woman go to church, she had to put a veil over her head. It's not so much today. They don't bother so much today. And then every Friday, you've got to eat fish, can't eat meat. Every Friday. Now nobody listens to that stuff anymore. You know, I mean, it's how it changes and evolves, and people do not kind of question what's happening around them too much. We are like sheeple being led down this cerebral path into a direction where God knows. And as you say, while they're heading you down that path, you cannot see what's on the other trail. And
yeah,
that's
Big Bird
the
says
crazy thing about it.
The drones are a deflection from all involved in the P. Diddy saga, which there's a lot of shit going down over there. You know, I'm afraid that we're probably not going to hear a lot about that. Same with the Epstein list. Just because there's too many elites involved, you know, they don't want to let any of them names out. Politicians.
I mean, I know. I keep seeing things like Trump's supposed to be his best mate years ago. I mean, I don't want to. I'm not interested in what people done years ago. I mean, all I'm interested. Yeah, I'm not perfect, mate. You're not perfect. No one's perfect. Hey, have we all done things in life we may have regretted? Some worse than others. You know, well, mate, I've made a fool of myself many times, but I've never gone out of my way to hurt or abuse anybody. You know, but the point is, have I made mistakes? Of course, I made lots of mistakes. Did I learn from them? Well, that's another story. Some things I have, some things I haven't. But I mean, life is a lesson, you know, and that's something we've got to carry on and try to. We carry that to the day we die. I mean, hey, I wasn't perfect, but did I make an impression? Well, some people I did. You know, some people I didn't. You know, but it's anyway. Listen, guys, we've been on just over an hour, and I think it might be a good time to maybe cruise on and do
Yeah,
do our
we'll have
thing
to see what the next few days bring, and we'll come back on and see what's changed.
Yeah,
I reckon definitely we'll do another show, and I'll be better organized. You know, I just to let everybody know. I'm sorry, guys, everybody. I haven't been doing a show for quite a while. This old man had not been the best. Not complaining, but yes, I am. Suffer with bad neck, bad back. It's like everything's worn apart on me. So Yeah, so I suffer badly with arthritis. So when the cold winter time hits me here, mate, I'm virtually bedridden. I can't walk, can't move, don't sleep very well. So it's very difficult. And I must apologise, everybody, but I will start doing live shows, get better organised. I'm a bit rusty at the moment. I've been out of it for a while. I've been doing these AI documentaries, and quite honestly, I'm a bit bored with them. Really, they're not as much fun as talking to friends, and
Right.
sharing my thoughts with people. I mean, I like to get out there and touch people's hearts. Lucky I said that. Anyway, well, obviously, Jim Goodall. Thanks, Jim, for turning up, mate. Much appreciated, buddy. I'm sure we'll catch up with Jim.
Yeah.
He's with family today. Out having dinner with family function. So anyway, I like to wish everybody out there, give an early Merry Christmas, and don't do anything I wouldn't do, and well, that gives you a lot of option.
Yeah. Yeah, I got my Christmas tree. Whoops, wrong way. That way.
Wonderful.
I got my
Yeah.
tree up already.
Yeah. Hey, by the
We
way,
got
Clay,
our tree up. We put
Hey,
our
Clay.
tree up. Yeah.
I got a new member to my family, a new guitar,
Ooh.
and it's in pristine condition. It's an acoustic. You'll like this. It's a Martin Sigma.
Yeah, Martins are real nice guitars.
Yeah, and it's a Sigma Martin, not the Chinese version, right? And it's got beautiful purling on the actual guitar.
Oh,
And
nice.
I was looking at the value of it, of the actual Martin one, because the Martin Sigma started up in 1970. And looking at the history of it, in 2007, AMI or something like that took over, which is a German company, then pulled it apart and had the parts made in China. Then the parts were shipped off to Germany, and they were assembled in Germany. And they actually did all the purling and everything in Germany, and they assembled it and quality control it. But the one I've got is a beauty, and it's still just a little chip on above the machine head, but that's not
Gives
bad.
it a
But the
little
rest of it's
character.
but the rest of it's in pristine condition. The neck's straight as, mate. I mean, and it's got low profile neck action, which is brilliant.
Wow.
And the tone on it, the harmonics is so good. Now, to buy this guitar, you're looking at about $2,000. I picked it up $400 from
Oh,
a
nice.
pawnbrokers. I saw him. Oh, I'm in love. So went home, got the file out, and the neck action. I just purrs, mate. It absolutely purrs. So we will
Nice.
actually get together. We will get together sometime soon, I hope, and we have a bit of a jam session. We'll have to use
Yeah,
a
we can
different
do like
platform,
a
but
we can do a StreamYard jam session. I can play some backing tracks and
yeah, that'd
can
be
play
great. Oh, I'll be
yeah.
looking forward to that. That's for sure. Anyway, thank
get Jane up
you,
to play
Clay,
some of
for-
her handpan.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
good.
that would be
That'd
cool.
good.
Yeah, we can set
Hey,
that
hey,
up. Maybe we can do that before around the holidays or in between or something.
And Joe, get you a tambourine.
Oh, I can play more on a tambourine, but yeah.
Yeah, well, good. Hey, Chuck, you get I can get my son-in-law involved too, because he's actually, I can set up all my camera stuff in the lounge room, because we've got one of these very expensive keyboards here. It's worth thousands and thousands. And I tell you, mate, you can get full symphony, you can get instruments of all different types, and he's a really accomplished musician. Really is a beautiful musician. So
Nice.
we can have a full symphony, to be honest.
There you go. Well, I look forward to that. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be
that
fun.
would be fun. Yeah, but we need to work out a repertoire before. We just can't go diving in and say, okay, what are we going to do? And we can all kind of do our little rehearsal on it, do our thing. Yeah, what chords we're using, what key, and
Just have a jam session, just whatever.
Oh yeah. But James good when you're doing lead.
Well,
I
with
think,
StreamYard, there'll be too much latency to be able to play
Yeah.
together. But we'll be able to
Yeah.
play separately, like you and your son
Mm,
be together. You guys will be able to play, and we'll be able to hear it. And
Yeah,
We can
yeah,
take
yeah.
turns
Well,
doing
we'll
that.
organise something. Anyway,
Now-
thank
There you
you,
go.
Clay, for joining us. Oh, sorry, mate. Yeah,
Oh, you're welcome.
carry on.
I had a good time tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I've had a bit of a chin wag, a bit of babbling as usual. I'm a good babbler. And Gerald, thank you very much for joining me, kind sir.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Hey,
good to see you.
The beard's grown for the winter, I see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
about
good.
time to put on a Santa suit.
Yeah, actually, I was going to wear my Geezer Geeks cap today, and I thought, I'll wait.
I got my Midwest.
Yeah. Yep. And yes, by the way, everybody, you can always catch up with Clay on Conspiracy Music and Gerald and Midwest Night Watchers. And hey, by the way, before you go, Gerald, how's the sky been? You've caught anything interesting lately on camera?
The rod on our end, the rods and orbs are starting to show back up, and deer and wildlife are showing back up. And Jane put up a new video that we went out the other day when it was 30 degrees out. We went to check out a den that was close to our area, so that's up on our channel, and a little hike to the woods. So we were outside for about an hour or so and did a little hiking.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for joining us, Jane. Yeah, she's always a good viewer, isn't she? She's always supportive. Love it. And thanks, Blazer, and Big Bird, Big Bird.
Big Bird.
Hey, isn't Big Bird out of Sesame Street, man?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the count of 1, 2, 3. Anyway, okay, guys. Catch you all later. Thank you for joining us. And listen, we'll do it again soon. Bye-bye now. Have a wonderful.